Hey guys, it's San and welcome back to the BulbaSquad. Today I'm coming back at you guys with a new video, and I just honestly felt rejuvenated for a bit, and I knew exactly what I wanted to make content over today. I want to talk about Sun and Moon. Yes, we're going back almost 2 generations now because we officially have seen the final Sword and Shield set. It's over. I talked about it, I don't even remember now, 6 months, maybe almost a year now, where I was counting the Sword and Shield sets and predicting how many I think are left. And we're already here at the end. It's crazy thinking about that. But I want to go back to Sun and Moon because now that we're moving from Sword and Shield to this new era, I forgot what it's called, Scarlet and Violet, I think is what it was. I'm a little sorry, I haven't paid that much attention to those. When the moment I saw the motorcycle Pokemon, I kind of zoned out. I didn't like them. I really don't like their design, but who knows? Maybe the new sets are going to come with more gimmicks. They're going to be awesome. It'll be fun, but it got me hyped. Now, because I'm looking back at Sun and Moon and now thinking, how is this going to translate to Sword and Shield? I know a lot of you guys are thinking about that, and I touched on it before. But here's a big disclaimer I want to give you guys right now. I've been out of it for a while because I got a little tired of talking about the same topics a lot of the time, and I felt like I was repeating myself. What I felt just now, and the reason I'm making this video with such actual excitement and a lot of energy, is because I just looked at something, I got curious, and I wanted to go back at it. I want to talk about it, and quite frankly, I want to have knowledge for the future for when I do look at Pokemon again. It's not because the market has slowed down or anything that I lost interest. I just got a little burned out after almost 2 years. And today I felt rejuvenated. I wanted to do this because I looked back at everything I've done and realized I'm pretty good at this stuff. And I liked being good at this. It was fun. So, you know what? Modern is still a mess. I'm still kicking. So, you know what? I think I should keep trying to go at it. Let's look at Sun and Moon. I have a little cheat sheet here with me because I'm a little rusty. And so, let's see what's happened. Sun and Moon base. I talked about this. It was like one of my first videos ever. If you go way back to the start, it's one of my first ones. I said Sun and Moon base was underrated at that point in time because when I looked at it, I saw, well, it wasn't this insane set where I could say, okay, this should be $500. I looked at it and said, it shouldn't be MSRP. This shouldn't be worthless. Why is it so cheap? The main thing is it had a couple evolutions in it. If I remember correctly, this one had I know it had Umbreon, but it had something else in there that made me raise an eyebrow at it. Well, at the time when I made that video, it was going for about 90 bucks out there, maybe 100. As of right now, it is at $240. Yes, call it 2 years of appreciation like we've talked about before. Call it whatever you want, but it happened. Guardians Rising, which I wasn't a too big a fan of this one. I think this one's a bit on the weaker side. Is up to $334. I'm going based off of TCG player prices. Don't worry, my stuff will get better as I get back into things. This is me getting started again. Burning Shadows is up to $379. I'm kind of surprised that one hasn't gone further. But to be fair, that one's a lottery card Charizard, which does kind of tell you that sets should have a little bit more behind them for them to have legs on them. And it is interesting. We'll talk about why I think that is. Crimson Invasion up to $173. Almost exact same issue as Burning Shadows, except it has a Gyarados and that's not quite as strong. Ultra Prism up to $400, still hasn't fully recovered. Before that reprint occurred way back then, Ultra Prism was in the 500s. Now up to $400, which isn't bad. And if you bought it after that reprint, you've made out like a bandit, quite frankly. Because a lot of places you could buy it in the mid-hundreds, 150, 170. So if you bought it around that price, we're looking at, what is that, 130% appreciation, roughly? Then we got Team Up, the big one. Team Up, for those of you who aren't aware, it's been at like $300 for a really long time. I think I sold some Team Up at $700, I think. It is now at $900. That is going to be the first Sword and Shield set, I think, that might break 1,000. I forgot today. I didn't look at the full Team Up block, the tag team cards. Comment down below if you guys want a video covering that. Who am I kidding? I'm going to cover it anyway. But I'm going to cover all of the tag team cards because it's so different from the rest of the block. I'm kind of covering the weaknesses right now because I thought that's where the interesting stuff is. Because if this is how the trash behaved, because let's be honest, by comparison to the beautiful Latios, everything in Team Up, Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, all that, this is quite frankly garbage. If that's how this behaves, what's going to happen to Sword and Shield? And then Celestial Storm, another one just before we got to the big stuff, $500. So, last one, Forbidden Light, almost as bad as Crimson Invasion, $312. Oh, well, there goes that. So, now you know. The reason I'm interested in this is we have a clear line in the sand when it comes to Sword and Shield. The first alternate art set that I can recall is Battle Styles. Prior to that, what was it? We had Sword and Shield Base, Rebel Trash, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, Champion's Path, and then we got to Shining Fates. Okay. Those are the sets we're looking at. They look weak. They're so much weaker than our alternate arts because quite frankly, we've had so many of them now that it's forgotten about. But looking at Sun and Moon, what's one thing we can really count on when it comes to those older sets? The supply hasn't been quite taken care of. No one cared about it. People just cracked it, okay? Rudy always says it. Attrition, there's always attrition on the supply. As time goes on, it begins to go away. We're basically in a bear market. We've been in that for a long time now because of everything with the economy. Why is Sun and Moon behaving like this? People stop paying attention because of the shiny stuff. People stop caring. The prices didn't move for years, and then they skyrocketed because of the supply-demand imbalance. Because there's not enough supply, people started demanding it as they started realizing, these sets aren't as bad as you think. If you don't believe me, go look at the sets yourself. They're really not that bad. It's just when you compare them to those beautiful tag team alternate arts, they don't compare, quite frankly. I'm sorry, they don't compare. But it doesn't mean they're straight trash. At least most of them, Crimson Invasion is basically straight trash unless you're a Gyarados fan like me, in which case that set is golden. Still waiting on my Gyarados alternate art, by the way. Where did that go? He's an original Pokemon, isn't he? If I remember correctly, Magikarp Gyarados, one of the originals. Where is it? Okay, I just had to let that out. I've been frustrated and waiting for that. Waiting. Where's it gone? So, Sword and Shield Base, Rebel Trash, all those sets. Yes, they're starting to appreciate as of right now. Either they're over-speculated or under-speculated. I don't know what's going on with those precisely. But the reason I want to look at the Sun and Moon ones, they're moving slower than, the rest of the tag team sets for the most part, because those are what's being held. Now, why are we talking about this? Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon are actually quite similar, okay? We have massive spikes in supply all throughout it, and then we have a clear divide in between. This is like the old stuff, which you can clearly tell it ended up Burning Shadows, if I recall correctly, or Shining Legends. And then we get to the alternate arts, just like Shining Fates / Vivid Voltage to Battle Styles. Right now, the first two sets, Base Set and Rebel Trash, are in the 200s roughly. After that, we get to about 160 and then like 130 with Darkness Ablaze and then Vivid Voltage. We know why that happened. A lot of supply came in, and then they got outclassed by the fact that there's simply better cards out there. Which is exactly what happened in Sun and Moon. Yet, those outclassed cards still are holding their own. People said Sun and Moon was really overprinted. You were right. At the time, you were right. The hobby exploded. We are still experiencing some growth in the hobby. I think there is still growth to be had. So even those weaker sets at this point in time, Vivid Voltage with Amazing Rares, that's one of the few things people forget about. Darkness Ablaze, which, let's be honest, okay, opening packs and you get a Charizard VMAX, it's fun. Yeah, you're not making money, but it's fun. The original base set, Sword and Shield, I thought that was undervalued for a long time because I looked at them like, this is a solid set. It has plenty of fan favorites. What was it? Lapras, Snorlax, Zacian, Zamazenta, and I forgot something else was in there that was good. I think it had Marnie. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that one. Double Trash, I'm just not a fan of it, but as the 3 starters, so I can see an argument for it. The reason I'm targeting this specific block of both Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield is because they're similar. Both of them were pretty okay sections, not incredible, they were solid in their own right, and then they were overshadowed. Battle Styles and Chilling Grain are also very much in the same boat. I think these are the sections that should be targeted for if you really want to try and hit something good. Run it through the spider system so you can try and rank them all out. Figure out how much supply is out there. I haven't quite looked at it just yet. Because right now this is all theoretical. I just wanted to look at stuff. And figure out what is most similar to Sun and Moon. Obviously, you won't see exact replications of price appreciations. You won't see the supply behave the same because supply obviously rose quite a bit over these past few years. But at the same time, so is demand. And you can't quite predict how much demand there will be in the future, how things will change. But I do know this. At this point, the age-old adage that people have been having for a while now. Pokemon just keeps being consistent. I don't know how long that'll go for, but I know there's a good chance it's not going to end anytime soon. If you want to make money off of it, you got to play it smart. I think right now it is not smart to go after where the money already is, like Evolving Skies and whatnot. Just because we don't know what'll happen. Yeah, we're about to head into the next block. Evolving Skies really hasn't gotten a reprint or any supply out there. But I know the blocks I was talking about, this section, that year of base set to Vid Voltage. If I recall correctly, either that's already out of rotation or it's going out of rotation. Like I said, I'm out of it. And then beyond that, Chilling Grain and Battle Styles. I know those were hit hard for a while. I forgot to look at their price before this video, unfortunately. But that's all I want to talk about. What comparison is there going to be? Or what similarities are going to be between Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon? I think the most interesting section is going to be that first half of Sword and Shield, just like it was with Sun and Moon. I told you all these prices. Look at what's happened to them. I think that's what you guys should be paying attention to. Do your own investigation on it. If you want to follow up on this, you're welcome to ask for it. I'll see if I'm up for it. But I'm definitely going to be covering the alternate art set next and trying to compare that to Sword and Shield. And that's probably going to be more coherent than this. But anyway, if you guys are still here after the big hiatus, thank you very much. You guys are honestly fantastic. I'm happy there are some people who are interested in hearing me ramble. I hope you guys do the best with your finances, everything you want to do, all the investments, and I hope that some of my knowledge has been of use to you guys. Either way, thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.